Hi everyone, I'm Yasha, and welcome to the 27th episode of Election Scoop. And today we'll be doing the first in a 50-part series about predictions for each state, one by one, for the general elections that are coming up this November. And we are starting, of course, with the state first alphabetically on the list, Sweet Home Alabama. And what that contains is the governor's race and all 7 House races. There is no Senate race in Alabama this year. Rats, there will be in other states, and of course Alabama next election cycle. Now let's start off with the governor's race. And the incumbent for that is the Republican Kay Ivey. She takes a lot of conservative stances, as Republicans usually do, on a lot of hot-button social issues. She signed during her tenure laws favoring the death penalty and putting barriers to same-sex adoptions. And she is going up against the Democratic challenger, Walt Maddox, who is mayor of Tuscaloosa. Now, he is much more of a, I guess you could say, centrist, but really he's kind of billing himself as a pragmatist. Jobs, healthcare, infrastructure, key things that everyone on both sides of the aisle can agree on, and stuff that's likely to get support from conservatives as well as liberals. And you'll see that dynamic in a lot of conservative southern states. Now, there's been one reliable poll for this race, and it shows Ivey with 55% and Maddox with 42%. And that's a solid Republican hold, but notice that the Republicans are doing almost 10% worse than they did last governor's race in 2014, and the Democrats are doing 7% better. Now, these numbers don't add up to 100 because in polls there are usually undecided people who don't choose either, but still, this shows pretty good gains on the part of the Democrats. That being said, it is Alabama, and we can rate this race as pretty safe Republican. Now let's look at the House races, and usually we'll start off with a key like this, going from safe Republican to toss-up to safe Democrat, and if there's an asterisk by a district, that means it's held by the opposite party that it's colored as. So let's say something is colored as likely D, but there's an asterisk, meaning that it is currently held by a Republican, and we predict that it will change sides. But down in Alabama, that is not a problem, because we have 6 safe Republican seats and 1 majority African American, safely Democratic seat. There should be at least 1 more African American seat, but because Alabama is pretty well gerrymandered, that isn't the case. And Democrats are not going to gain or lose any seats. Republicans are not going to gain or lose any seats. All 7 current representatives have filed for re-election and have won their primaries, and they're going to win re-election, so no changes in the Alabama congressional delegation. But one interesting thing to note is in 2014, last midterms, Democrats nominated candidates in 5 out of 7 congressional districts. This year, they've nominated candidates in all 7, which shows, even though they're not going to win any new ones, that there is Democratic enthusiasm even in southern areas. Republicans have stayed at 6 out of 7. They stay out of the 7th district, which the Democrats usually take unopposed. So that is the situation going down in Alabama. No real predictions to make because we knew what was going to happen. And next time, we're going to be looking at Alaska, which is a fascinating state and probably a more dynamic state, politically speaking, than Alabama. So thanks for watching, and remember, don't forget to vote.